Yes, yes. Nothing like the smell of good roasted pork, especially if we are talking about little piglets. Let's cut the crap with that traditional piece of propaganda about the three little pigs. What's with traditional tales and the sanctity of pigs? Pigs eat everything they can get into their filthy mouths, even people. Yeah, that's right. From all around Europe, there are stories about babies who got eaten by pigs who made their way into their owners' houses. Babies smell like milk, so do the math. And the wolves are always the bad asses. I'm not saying wolves are sweet teddy bears for us to play around, nothing like that. I'm not one of those freaks who worship everything that's wild without being pragmatic. Nature is awesome, so is security. And so our story starts. Once upon a time, there were three little piggies. Their names were Ludwig van Pork, Pope Pork the Third, and Bernard Bacon. Ludwig was a musician. Pork the Third was the leader of the almighty and celestial Porkish Church. And finally Bernard was just a walking piece of bacon. Each one of them lived in his own house. Ludwig van Pork lived in a house of straw. He played the piano. It's a porkish version of the piano. Sorry. A very limited one. It only has one key and the sound it produces is something like this. Groink. So I guess calling Ludwig a musician is a very mother freaking big euphemism. He had some creativity with the rhythms though. Pork the Third lived in a wooden church. There he would attract all sorts of dumb pig asses who were taught to worship a god who allegedly created pigs at his own image. Very convenient in order to justify all the crap that pigs do, and also to keep other species out of the club. Finally, Bernard the Bacon. He wanted to be an actor. Now and then, he made commercials for human products. In exchange, they gave him dozens of packs of the product. And yes, we are talking about pork meat, including bacon. So yes, he was a cannibal, and yes, that's where he got his nickname. He lived in a house made of bricks, an old place abandoned by humans. Now to the other side of the story. Guess who is hungry and craving for some prime rib? Big Bad Wolf. And so he enters the story. Man, says Big Bad Wolf, I'm so freaking hungry. Wolfie needs some meat in his bones. And as the ancient wise wolves used to say, we are what we eat. And I'm sick of hunting little sweet rabbits and other small mammals. Back in the days, I would feast both on pigs and humans, and I shall arise again. Big Bad Wolf puts on his favorite album, Pork Meat is Awesome, from the band Wolf Bite. Yeah, baby, wolf metal up your... Oh, I must control my scary mouth. There can be some little wolves hearing me. Anyway, nyak nyak for Wolfie. But where can I find a nice, decent piece of meat? Hey, wait a minute. What's that noise? Seems like the sound of a pig. It's always the same, but it doesn't have a pattern. Ludwig was playing too loud his piano, and Big Bad Wolf could hear it. After the Wolf Bite album ended, it's a very short album, just about 3 minutes. The sound of a pig? That's a hell of a tasty sound. I have to go and see where this is going. So, Big Bad Wolf, dressed up as a sheep, followed the sound. Eventually, he found the little house made of straw of Ludwig van Pork. Such a sweet house, all filled with filth. Everything smelled like, well, like a pig dumpster. Damn, that's an horrible smell. Worries? None. After I cook this little piglet, things will get better. And tasty too. Haha, now let me pretend I'm a little sheep. And so Big Bad Wolf started to imitate a sheep. Hello, Mr. Pig. I'm a poor old sheep, lost in the woods. There's a big bad wolf around here, and I think he's trying to catch me. Would you be so kind to let me in your house for protection? No. Why not? Well, after the wolf kills you and eats you, I, as a pig, will be able to feast on your leftovers. Hey, that's kind of funny. Your leftovers. Literally. Man, this guy's such a pig. Oh well, it's okay. I have other ways to take down this pig hole. And so, the big bad wolf returned to his house to pick up the latest Windmaker 3500 to blow that place away. And yeah, did it work? You think I'm still in the Middle Ages, pig face? Well, no need to feel nostalgic, cause I will cook you in Middle Ages style. Come here, you pork! Groink! Oh no! The sheep is actually the wolf! Who could imagine? Let's go! When he reached out to the church, which is made of wood, and asked the protection of Pope Pork III, he got the usual answer of these creeps. Church is closed, and I will not put myself in danger in order to save another piece of pork like me. Every pig for himself in this life. I mean, fear not, my son. God will take your soul after the wolf devours your flesh. And I shall have a little taste myself afterwards. We shouldn't let God's work go to waste, right? Especially if it's rich in proteins. Or should I say pork-tains? I can hear you. Amen, my son. Now let me pray and finish my lunch. Burp. Bless me. As expected, Big Bad Wolf caught Ludwig van Pork. No, please, no. Oh, yes. And then the Big Bad Wolf mouth opened widely. And just when Ludwig was about to be eaten alive, the wolf said, Hey, what the hell am I doing? Yes, you will spare my pig's life. You are so kind and good-hearted, Mr. Wolf. What? Of course not. What the hell was I doing by almost eating you alive? I'm gonna roast you like the good walking barbecue that you are. And speaking of hell, through the fire that will cook you, I will burn this pig church, or whatever they call it. I'm sure His Holiness will have a divine flavor. Pope Pork III becomes Pork Meat II. And so it did. And that crispy, crunchy pork skin and the delicious soft meat. The wolf could be bad, but he was feeling pretty good. Plus 100% sulfate free. Can you taste it? Come on, go get yourself a nice plate of bacon and eggs. Enter the mood. And speaking of bacon, oh Bernard, are you ready to perform in a brand new commercial? Asked the wolf. Groink! Yes! More pork meat for me after, yes? Oh yes, you filthy animal. Plenty of pork meat for you. And you will be part of it after I get you and eat your sorry pork ass. And also all the remaining parts. Oh no, the big bad wolf. Damn right, Porkster. Haha, I live in a house made of bricks. You cannot catch me, na na na. First statement is true. For now. The second one is debatable. You are about to honor your nickname, you son of a pig. And suddenly, while headbanging to the sound of Raging Howl, particularly their hit single, Roast That Pig and Roast Him Good, the big bad and full of explosives wolf started planting TNT, dynamite, and all sorts of fireworks around the brick house, where Bernard the Bacon used to do his pig business. Well, until today, we still don't know if that pig hole, in his last 2 seconds of pathetic, pre-cooked life, understood what the hell, literally, was going to happen. The little brick house made the big, nice, juicy BAM! And it all came down to pieces, including the ones of Bernard, all cooked perfectly and already sliced. Bernard became what he was meant to be since the beginning, bacon. And so, the big bad wolf lived happily ever after. Until the end of the week, at least. Fortunately, Little Red Riding Hood was hanging around the forest tent. I'm just kidding. Maybe. The end.